Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself I am Lokus Jogi. I have completed MSc in Agriculture, Seed Science and Technology, Specialization Seed Science and Technology from HNBGS Central University, Srinagar, Uttarakhand in 2020. I have got 52 rank in PhD program Seed Science and Technology from Indian Council of Agricultural Research ICR All India Entrance Examination for Admission in 2021. Today I am going to tell about the topic the Consumer Protection Act 1 1986. The Industrial Revolution and the development in the international trade and commerce has led to the vast expansion of business and trade, as a result of which a variety of consumer goods have appeared in the market to cater to the needs of the consumer, and a host of services have been made available to consumers like insurance, transport, electricity, housing, entertainment, finance and banking, as well organized sector of manufacturers and traders with better knowledge of markets has come into existence, hereby affecting in relationship between the traders and the consumers, making the principle of consumer surgently almost incapable. The advertisement of goods as services in television, newspaper and magazines influence the demand for the same by the consumers, though there may be firms has been the consumers who have little time to make a selection, to think before they can purchase the best. For the welfare of public, the glut of adulterated and substandard articles in the market have to be checked in spite of various provisions providing protection to the consumer and providing for stringent action against adulterated and substandard article in the different enactments like Code of Civil Procedures 1 1908, the Indian Contract Act 1 1972, the Sale of Goods Act 1 1930, the Indian Penal Code 1860, the Standard of Weights and Measures Act 1 1976, and the Motor Vehicle Act 1 1988, where little could be achieved in the field of consumer protection through the Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act 1 1969, arid to Prohibitions of Food Adulterations Act 1 1954 have provided relief to the consumer, yet it become necessary to protect the consumer from the exploitations and to save them from adulterated and substandard goods and services, and the safeguard the interest of the consumers in order to provide for better protection of the interest of the consumer. The Consumer Protection Bill 1 1986 was introduced in the Lok Sabha on 5th December 1 1986. Statements of object and reasons. The Consumer Protection Bill 1 1986 seeks to provide for better protection of the interests of consumers and for the purposes to make provision for the establishment of consumers council and other authorities for the settlements of consumer disputes and for matter connected therewith. Second, it seeks inter alia to promote and protect the rights of consumers, such as a. The right to be protected against marketing of goods which are hazards to life and property. B. The right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of goods to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. C. The right to be assured wherever possible access to an authority of goods at competitive prices. D. The right to be heard and to be assured that consumer interests will receive due consideration at appropriate forms. E. The right to seek redressals against unfair trade practices or unscrupulous exploitations of consumers, and F. Right to consumers education. 3. These objects are sought to be promoted and protected by the Consumer Protection Council to be established at the central and state level. 4. To provide speedy and simple redressal to consumer disputes. A quasi judicial machinery is sought to be set up at the district, state and central levels. These quasi judicial bodies will be observe the principle and natural justice and have been empowered to give relief of specific nature and the award wherever appropriate compensations to consumer penalties for non-compliance of the order given by the quasi judicial bodies have also been provided. 5th, the bill seeks to achieve the above objects. Act 68 of 1986, the Consumer Protection Bill 1986 was passed by both the House of Parliament and it received the assent to the President on 24th December 1986. It come on the stats book, the Consumers Protection Act 1986, 68 of 1986. The Consumer Protection Act 1986, 68 of 1986, 24 December 1986, an act to provide for better protection of the interests of consumer, and for that purpose the make provision for the establishment of consumer council and other authorities for the settlement of consumer disputes and for the matter connected therewith, be it enacted by Parliament in 37th year of the Republic of India as follow. Preliminary Consumer Protection Councils, Consumer Disputes Redressal Agencies, Miscellaneous. First, short title, extent, commencement and applications. First, this act may be called the Consumer Protection Act 1986. Second, it extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Third, it shall come into force on such date as the central government may be notification appoint, and different dates may be appointed for different states and for different provisions of this act. 4. save as otherwise expressly provided by the central government by notification. This act shall apply to all goods and services. Second definitions. 1. In this act, unless the context otherwise require a appropriate laboratory means a laboratory or organizations, first recognized by the central government, second recognized by the state government subject to such guidelines as may be prescribed by the central government. In this we have third, any such laboratory or organization established by or under any law for the time being in force, which is maintained, financed or aided by central government or state government for carrying out analysis or test of any goods with a view to determining whether such goods suffer from any defect. Branch office means any establishment described as branch by the opposite party. Second, any establishment carrying on either the sum of subordinarily, substantially some activity as that carried on by the head office of establishment. Complaint means a consumer or any voluntary consumer association registered any under the Companies Act 1 1956 or under any other law for the time being in force, the central government or any state government, one or more consumer where there are numerous consumer having the same interest. In case of debt of consumer is legal heir or representative who are which makes a complaint. C. Complaint means any allegations in writing made by complaint that first an unfair trade practice or a restrictive trade practice has been adopted by the trader or services provider. Second, the goods brought by him or agreed to the brought by him suffer from one or more defects. Third, the services hired are availed of or agreed to be hired or availed by him suffer from deficiency in any respect. For a trader or service provider, as the case may be, has charged for the goods or the service mentioned in the complaint a price in excess of the price fixed by or under any law for the time being in force. B. Displayed on the goods or any package containing such goods. C. Displayed on the price list exhibited by him by or under any law for the time being in force. D. Agreed between the parties. 5. goods which will be hazard to life as safety when used are being offered for sale to the public. A. In contraventions of any standard relating to sale of such goods as required to be complied with a by or under any law for the time being in force. B. It we trader could have known with due to diligence that the goods so offered are unsafe to the public. 6. Services which are hazards are likely to be hazards to life and safety of the public when used are being offered by the service provider which such person could be known with to diligence to be injurious to life and safety. The consumer means any person who first buys and goods for the considerations which has been paid or promised or party paid and party promised or under any system of deferred payment and includes any user of such goods other than the person who buys such goods for consideration paid or promised or party paid or party promised or under any system of offered payment when such use is made with the approval of such person but does not include a person who obtains such goods for resale or for any commercial purpose. Or second, highest or else of any services for the considerations which has been paid or promised or party paid and party promised or under any system of deferred payment and include and beneficiary of such services other than the person who hires or avails of the services of considerations paid or promised, party paid under party promised or under any system of deferred payment when such services are availed of with the approval of the first mentioned person but does not include a person who avails of such services for any commercial purpose. Explanations for the purposes of the clause commercial purpose does not include use any a person of goods bought and used by him and services availed by him exclusively for the purposes of earning his livelihood by means of employment. E. Consumer dispute means a dispute where the person against whom a complaint has been made denies or disputes the allegations contained in the complaint. F. Defect means any defect, any fact, imperfections or shortcoming in the quality, quantity, potency, purity or standard which is required to be maintained by or under any law for the time being in force under any contract expressed or implied or as is claimed by the trader in any manner whatsoever in relation to any goods. G. Deficiency means any fault, imperfections, shortcoming or inadequacy in the quality, nature and manner of performance which is required to be maintained by the under any law for the time being in force or has been undertaken to be performed by person a presence of a contract or otherwise in relation to any service. H. District forum means a consumer disputes redressal forum established under clause A of section 9. I. Goods means goods as defined in the State of Goods Act number 193 of 1930. G. Manufacturers means a person who first makes or manufactures any goods or part thereof, second does not make or manufactures any goods but assembles part of thereof made of manufactured by other, or third puts or causes to be puts is oven mark on any goods made or manufactured by any other manufacturer. Explanations. Where a manufacturer dispatches any good or part thereof the any branch office mentioned by him, such branch office shall not be deemed to be the manufacturer even though the part so dispatched to it are assembled at such branch office and are should distributed from such branch office. J. Member include the President and member of National Commissioner, National Commission or State Commission or district form as the case may be. National Commission means the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission established under clause C of section 9. I. Notification means of notification published in the official gazette, and person includes a firm whether registered or not. Second, a Hindu undivided family. Third, a cooperative society. Fourth, every other association of person whether registered under the Societies Registration Act 1960 at 21 of 1960 are not prescribed means prescribed by rule made by the state government or as the case may be by the central government under this act. Regulation means the regulation made by the National Commission under this act. Restrictive trade prices means a trade practice means the trade practice which tends to bring about manipulations of price or conditions of delivery or the affect flow of supplies in the market relating to goods or services in such manner to as impose on the consumer unjustified cost of restrictions and shall include a delay beyond the period agreed to by the trader in supply of such goods or improving the services which has lead is likely to leads to rise in the price. B. Any trade practice which require a consumer to buy, hire or avail of any goods or, as the case may be, services as condition precedent to buying, hiring or availing of other goods or services. Service means service of any descriptions which is made available to potential user and include but not limited to the provisions of facilities in connection with banking, financing, insurance, transport, processing, supply of electrical, of other energy, board or loading, or both housing, constructions, entertainment, amusement, or the prevailing of news or other information, but does not include the rendering of any service free of charge or under of contract of personal service. Spurious goods and services mean such goods and services which are claimed to be genuine but they are actually not so. P. State commission means a consumer disputes redressal commission established in a state under clause B of section 9. Q. Trader in relation of to any goods means a person who sells or distributes and goods for sale and include the manufacturers thereof and where such goods are sold, distributed in package from include the packer thereof, or unfair trade practice means a trade practice which for the purpose of promoting the sale, use of or supply of any goods or for the provision of any services adopts any unfair method or unfair or deceptive practice including any of the following practice, namely: first, the practice of making any statement whether orally or in writing or by visible representations which first flagrantly represents that the goods are of particular standard, quality, quantity, grade, composition, style or model. Flagrantly represents that the services are of particular standard, quality, of grade. Third, flagrantly represents any reboot, second hand, renovated, reconditioned or old goods as new goods. 4. Represents that the goods or services have sponsorship of approval or affiliations which such seller or supplier does not have. 6. Make a false or misleading representations concerning the need for the unusefulness of any goods or services. 7. Gives the public any warranty to guarantee of the performance, efficiency or length of life of a product or of any goods that is not based on a adequate or proper test thereof, provided that when a defense is raised to the effect that such warranty or guarantee is based on adequate or proper test, the burden of proof of such defense shall lie to on the person raising such defense at make to the public a representations in a form the purports to be. First, a warranty or guarantee of a product of any goods or services, or a promise to replace, maintain or repair an article, any part thereof, or to repeat or continue a service until it has achieved a specified result in such purported warranty or guarantee or promise is materially misleading, or if there is no reasonable prospect that such warranty, guarantee or promise will be carried out. 9. Materially misleads to public concerning the price at which a product or like product or goods or services have been or ordinary sold to, provided and for this purpose a representations as to price shall be deemed to refers to the price at which the product or goods or services has or have been sold by seller or provided by supplier generally in the relevant market, unless it is clearly specified to be the price at which the product has been sold or services have been provided by the person by whom or on whose we have to representations is made. 10. Give false or misleading fact displaying the goods, services or trade of another person. Explanations for the purposes of clause 1. A statement that is a expressed on a article offered or displayed for sale or on its wrapper of container, or B. expressed on anything attached to interested instead in accompanying an article offered or displayed for sale and on anything on which to article is mounted for display or sale, or C. contained in anything that is sold, sent, delivered, transmitted or any other manner wholesaler whatsoever made available to a member of the public. Shall be demanded to be statements made to the public by the only by the person who had caused the statement to be so expressed, made of, or contained to, permits to publications of any advertisement, whether in any newspaper or otherwise, for the sale or supply at a present price of goods or services that are not intended to be offered for sale or supply at the begun prices for a period that it and in quantities that are reasonable, having regard to nature of the market in which the business is carried on, the nature and size of business, and the nature of the advertisement. Explanations for the purpose of clauses 2. Bargaining price means bargaining price. A price that is started in any advertisement to be bargain price, the reference to an ordinary price or otherwise, or B. A price that a person who reads, hears or sees the advertisement would reasonably understood to be bargain price, having regard to the prices at which the product advertised or like product or ordinary sold. 3. Permits. A. The offer of gifts, prizes of or other items which with the attention of not providing them as offered or creating impressions that sometime is being given or offered free of charge when it is fully or partly covered by the amount charged in the transactions as whole. B. The conduct of any contest, lottery, game of science or skills for the purpose of promoting directly or indirectly the sale, use or supply of any product or business interest. 3. A withholding from the participants of any scheme offering gift, prizes or other items free of charge on its closure of information about final result of the scheme. Explanations for the purposes of this sub-clauses. The participants of a scheme shall be demanded to be have been informed of the final result of the scheme, where such result are within a reasonable time published prominently in the some newspaper in which the scheme was originally advised. 4. Permits the sale or supply of goods intended to be used or of a kind likely to be used by consumers, knowing or having reason to be believed to that the goods do not comply with the standard prescribed by complaint authority relating to performance, compositions, content, design, constructions, finishing or packagings as are necessary for to prevent or reduce the risk of injury to the person using to goods. 5. Permits the holding or destructions of goods or refuse to sell the goods or to make them available for sale or the provide any services. If such holding or destructions of refusal raises or tends to arise or intend to raise the cost of those or other similar goods or services. 6. Manufacture of spurious goods or offering such goods for sale or adopted deceptive practices in the provisions of services. 2. Any reference in the act to be any other act or provisions thereof which is not in force in any area to which this act applies shall be constructed to have a reference to be corresponding act or provisions thereof in force in such as area. 3. Act not derogations of any other law. The provision of this act shall be in additions to and not in derogations of the provisions of any other law for the time being in force. Thanks.